Hey, what's up guys? John here with The Pointed Outdoors. Today we're going to do episode 1 of the new segment we're doing on habitat management. More specifically, food plots, micro food plots, and even more specific than that, today I'm going to be talking about frost seeding. Now, frost seeding is just a method to put seed in the ground, and it's pretty easy. Specifically, clover. Right now, I still have standing Whitetail Institute clover. Well, it's no longer standing. It's been browsed down to next to nothing, but you can see it here and there. But I want to reseed that, and what we're going to do is use the frost seed technique to get that accomplished. And what it is during the evening, you know, the ground freezes, it cools down, and it freezes and locks up. During days like today, it's 38 degrees. It's just above freezing, so the ground opens up. And all the frost and everything, the ground unthaws a little bit, opens up, and the seed starts to sink a little bit in that ground. And at night, it refreezes and it pulls the seed down a little bit farther, you know, and repeat that over the next several days. We're supposed to get 5 to 8 inches of snow here on Sunday, and we'll see if that happens. But that's perfect for frost seeding. You know, it's going to keep that seed covered. The birds aren't going to peck it. Nothing's going to get to it, and it's going to be perfect to sink that seed to the depth that it needs to be to have great seed to soil contact for it to grow. Now, clover, more specifically, is a pretty easy seed to plant, and that's because it's very small, and it just gets seed to soil contact very easily, and it gets pulled down easy. It's not something that you have to till up like your oats or any of your other huge brassicas and stuff like that. You want to, you know, move some soil, but the downside to moving soil that people don't realize when it comes to frost seeding is if you till up the soil, what you're just doing is you're disturbing the soil, and you're bringing years of native forbs that have been buried in the ground. Those things are dormant. Well, when you put them back to the top, what do you get? You get weeds. That's the last thing you want. It's a weedy food plot. So the easiest low impact style is frost seeding. You're not going to get as many weeds. Now, you're never going to stop all the weeds, but if you don't till it up, there's a greater chance that you're going to have less weeds to deal with. And all I typically do during the year a couple times is I don't even mow it, I just spray it. And that's because I don't have the machinery to do it, number one. I have to pay somebody to do it, number two, but I could just get a backpack sprayer, you know, put your herbicides in there that you need. It's what kills grasses, but not clover. I believe I'll probably botch it, but I call it clethidium. I call it cleth for short. If you guys know what it is out there, comment below, because I'm sure I'm hacking the name of it, but so I call it cleth. Anyway, it's something that kills grasses, but it won't kill the clover, which is obviously important. You can't just spray anything on it because it's going to kill it. And you know, you can throw other cover crops in there, like, you know, rye or oats or cereal rye and stuff like that. You can throw on top of it because it's going to grow faster because it's a grass, but you can't spray it. As the downside, it's going to help protect your clover. And you can frost seed it as well because it's a small seed, but it'll help protect your clover from overgrazing and, you know, pressure from all the deer browse and stuff. But you can't spray it because you'll kill off all the rye or wheat or whatever you throw in there. So just some things that you have to think about. Can you mow it? If you can, great. Use a cover crop for your clover, because clovers take a year or two to establish a really good root structure. The second year is always better than the first year stand, so be prepared for that. When you frost seed clover, yeah, you get it in early, but it takes a long time that first year for it to come up. So if you have some that's already established and you frost seed over the top of it, it just adds additional seed and, you know, a greater root structure. I mean, this just clover has a massive root structure in the system. That's why it lasts so long. A good stand, if you take good care of it, it's 5 to 7 years. Some guys get longer years out of it. I've had mine for 3 years, and now it's been browsed down. I've tilled up certain sections and planted other things like daikon radishes and whatnot. I mean, the deer have just destroyed all the radishes that were in here, and the turnips that were in this specific part of the plot that I'll show you. But all around the edges and everything, it's all clover, and it's still there. And in the spring, it always springs back up, and I've planted trees around it ever since then. But if you've never done a food plot, soil sample, do one. You know, it's $20-25. You know, you send it in, it's not that much, and it'll help your plot. In the end, it's worth the $25 for all the money and time that you've put in it. But I personally didn't do it this year. I tested the soil, the pH level, and I tested it myself, and it's 6.7, and you know, a good 6.7, 7.2 is what you want for a clover stand. And I know, based off other years and the runoff that I get from the other ag fields that go into the ravines, about what my soil pH level is. I like to run it a little high, 7.1-ish, you know, maybe a little bit more than that. So I'll just go to your local Lowe's and or Menards or whatever, and I'll buy 13, 13, 13 or 12, 12, 12 or whatever's on sale, and I'll put 50 pounds out or 100 pounds out until I reach whatever the pH level is that I want. And I'm sure there's a better way to do it. You know, if you're an agro-science major or what have you, maybe you don't even have to be that. But that's something that I'm still learning. But over the years, that's what's worked for me. So I'll frost seed, I'll know my pH level, I'll increase my pH level just by buying some simple stuff at, you know, your local big box store or co-op if you can. Anyway, give frost seeding a try. See if you like it. Right now's the time to do it. I anticipate by St. Patty's Day that we're going to be warmed up to temperatures where everything's going to go. So anyway, be on the lookout for our next episode where I'll probably touch on fruit trees. I have 80 of them or so around the property here, and I'm going to show you guys how to prune them, fertilize them, take care of them, whatnot. So look for that in episode 2 of our habitat segment for Pointed Outdoors. This is John. You guys have a blessed day.